What are library music records? A lot of people have asked me that. Well, in this video we're going to be looking exactly what they are and showing some great examples of ones that have been sampled in hip hop. So library music records were specifically made for use in films, TV and radio, full of different music to create different types of themes and atmospheres. Many different labels. KPM is a really popular one. Chappell Music, Music de Wolf. So I've got here one of many by Chappell Music. This one, Dramatic Orchestra. So on this, there's various different instrumental tracks, lots of different versions of the same track. So ones where it's just the bass playing on its own, just the drums, different types of things. They are so popular for sampling in hip hop. A lot of them came out in the 60s and 70s, but they've continued. There's some really modern ones. In this video, I'm going to be showing you some really good examples of the different types and different samples that have been taken from them. All the music playing in the background throughout are my own productions. There's a link in description where you can go and view them on Bandcamp and download those albums as well. Anyone that's interested, I do have a members only section on my channel. If you join up, you'll get all 6 of my albums for free. You can also get access to unedited versions of my videos, so just showing the samples on them straight through. Anyway, let's jump in, let's have a check what the first track is. Paul Hart with Jaywalking there. So him, like a lot of the people on these library records, were session musicians, so they were just hired specifically to put these albums out. Paul Hart's appeared on a lot of different ones. This one, Bruton Music, which is another very popular label for sampling from. Primo again with his great sample chopping, taking that really nice track, really mellow, original, flipped it into a real hard hip hop beat, M.O.P over the top of it. Works so well, that one, really great track. Let's see what's up next.
Anti-auto-tune, death for the ringtone. This ain't for iTunes, this ain't for sing-along. Get your chain took in. I may do it myself, I'm so Brooklyn.
Big track, that Death of Auto-Tune by Jay-Z. Produced by No ID. He's done a lot of work with Jay-Z and also Kanye West. Absolute diss track to the use of auto-tune. Kanye and Jay-Z have both used auto-tune previously. I think they got to a point where they just saw it as a gimmick that people were just overusing. So this complete diss track against the use of it. That library record as well, that Psych Impressions, that is a really great album. That loads of different like horns, trumpets on it, bass lines, lots of guitars, whole different collection of different sounds on that. Been flipped really well, that really good use of sampling on that one, I think.
Scared of a bunch of water, then get out the rain. Order a rapper for lunch and spit out the chain. Then kick a lungy off the tip of his timbo.
Don Harper sample. He was from Australia, but he spent a lot of time in the UK. Did a lot of these library music records, violinist and composer, and he actually did a lot of the music for Doctor Who on BBC. The Danger Doom track, so that's Danger Mouse and MF Doom together. It's a really crazy album, that one. I would have a listen to that if you've not already. Some really silly, crazy samples on there as well, a lot of daft vocals especially. I'm pretty sure on my channel from a good few years ago, I've done a full breakdown of all the samples off that Danger Doom album, if that's something you're interested in. Just type in Danger Doom, Mouse and the Mask, full samples or all the samples, and you should be able to find it. So let's see what the next track is. On screen there, Jeff Barrow, Adrian Utley from the band Portishead. Pretty rare, obscure track, that one. Released as just a 7-inch single. Apache on the A side, and that track was the flip side. Have a listen to it. So many drum breaks on that, specifically done for that. There's bass breakdowns, loads of different parts that you could sample from. Definitely great. Dilla track as well, off his masterpiece Donuts. Absolute school in how to chop samples up, that one. Literally hundreds and hundreds of samples used throughout the whole album. Let's see what the next one is. Library music record from KPM there. One of the best library music labels out there. If you search KPM on Spotify, you will find loads and loads of the compilations. Been heavily used, but there's also a lot of tracks that haven't been used if you're looking to dig for any samples. Jurassic 5 track, really great example of how to chop a sample well. Taking that section, completely changed the rhythm and feel of it with the chopping. DJ Newmark produced that. Great producer, done loads for J5. He also did a real upbeat jazzy remix for the Far Side, the track For Better or For Worse. Great remix, that one. Go and give it a check if you've not listened to it. So let's check out what the next one is.
That's alright, let them think what they want. Yo, I'm steady at it, them deadly habits. I pray for the best outcome, son, but my dome's already shattered.
Steve Gray sample there. He was a British musician, did a lot of session music, actually worked with some big people like Quincy Jones during his time. Appeared on many of these library music records as well. Gangstar track, the Owners album, such an album, that one. Again, Primo chopping up that sample really well, adding his distinct drums over the top, voice of Guru. Just in my opinion, great track, that one.
Oh, here we go. On born days, I used to blow out the candles, and every Saturday watch cartoons till noon, and then I switched to Ralph and Danny's.
Keith Mansfield, another British musician, and he has done hundreds and hundreds of tracks for KPM library music. Been sampled a huge amount of times. That track is actually currently used on an advert in the UK, one for Sky Bet, so you might recognise it from there. Another Danger Doom track. We've already listened to one. As I said, Danger Mouse, MF Doom together, great combo. Let's check the next one.
Repz. Yeah. Primo.
House of Repz, real underground New York hip hop that. One of the members went by the name Benny Blanco, taken from the great film Carlito's Way with Al Pacino in. And oddly, they've done that hip hop track, but in '95, under the name Benny Blanco, he put out a track sampling that specific line from Carlito's Way when he says, "Remember me, Benny Blanco from the Bronx," but pure drum and bass track. So very different style to this track. The Prodigy also got an unreleased track sampling that Benny Blanco. So primo production, this one straight up loop, but those drums just really add so much to it, I think. Just turns that into a real hard beat. Great track, that one.
Polyrhythm Addicts, no games, no theatrics. Our habitat spans from New York to them foreign lands. Native hip-hop, orientated, rhyme-related crime.
Another sample by Steve Gray, another great KPM library track as well. You just hear that bass and it is just needs sampling. It's got to have a good beat behind that. Polyrhythm Addicts, they were a group with DJ Spinner, Mr. Complex, Shabam Sadiq, Apani B Fly, done some great work. DJ Spinner as well is a bit of an underrated producer. He's done some real good tracks in his career, definitely. So let's see what the next track is.
Never taking no for an answer. Might just take a loss, but bitch, I'd rather take my chances. This liquor got me lurking when you live it in the nighttime.
That group Rubber, they were specifically put together just to make these compilations of these library music sounds. Freddie, Gibbs and Madlib together. Been sampled quite a few times, that particular track. West Side Gun has used it as well, but this one was the first out of them to use that track. Madlib, such a great producer, made a lot of great tracks during his career.
Marvels and frights and strange delights, attributes, properties, disciplines and novelties, ecstatic patterns in the calendar design.
Brian Bennett sample, another British musician, drummer, composer, was part of Cliff Richard and the Shadows, done a lot of movie and TV soundtracks as well. That particular track has been used loads of times. High and Mighty Top Prospects used it. That also had Defarine Evidence on that track. This one though, Kanye production, a lot of different MCs on this. Great track, a lot more modern than some of the ones I show, because I know I tend to show a lot of 90s stuff, so I just thought I'd throw this one in for a bit of a change. So let's check out what the next track is. Dick Walter, he has done a huge amount of these library records, well over 30 of them, and he's been sampled a fair bit as well. Kendrick Lamar track, producer on that, Soundwave. He has done loads and loads of production for Kendrick as well. Yeah, nice track that one, the drums just really work well with it, and again, a more recent track rather than a lot of the 90s ones that I've been showing.
From whence I came, express my pain, shape and mold my frame. I go by the name, my O.C, my PKA went on stage.
String Tonics, that was actually the only album that they ever put out, so it's quite a rare one, that, definitely. It has been sampled quite a few times as well by different people. That Apollo Brown and O.C track, great track that. Apollo Brown is such a good producer, very old school, whether he still is, but he was producing a lot of stuff on Fruity Loops using Windows XP. So hadn't moved on with the technology, using the modern MPCs and other equipment, but still managing to produce some absolute banger of tracks. Yeah, definitely a great producer.
All you boys in the new Toronto wanna be me a little. All your exes know I like my O's with a V in the middle.
Another Brian Bennett track, another one off KPM albums. So many great samples on those KPM ones, definitely my favourite to say from. Drake, not really my sort of music, not a particular fan of his, so that's as much as I'm going to say about him. Let's move on to the next one.
Tripping off the beat, kinda. Dripping off the meat grinder. Heat niner, pimping, stripping, soft, sweet minor. China was a neat sign of trouble with the street.
Yeah, forget Drake. This is much more my sort of music, this one. So that Lee Howard and the All-Stars, another one of those real obscure groups. That's the only album they put out, specifically this library music record. Madvillain, so Madlib with MF Doom on it, produced by Madlib. Yeah, real great stuff, that one. Real big fan of both Madlib and MF Doom. So let's check out what the next one is.
Paid shows, promoters post up bills, sign deals only if the math is real.
Jack Mayborn did a whole heap of these library records, but as far as I'm aware, this track is the only one that's ever been sampled. So if you find any of his stuff, you could be in for a treat, because there could be a load of stuff that no one has ever used. Prodigy track, produced by Alchemist, been used a few times, that sample. There's also a really rare Dilated Peoples track, produced by Alchemist as well, that uses that. It was an album called Heavy Surveillance, bit of a promo around the Neighborhood Watch album, but it never actually got an official release. Sure, it's on YouTube if you have a search for it. So yeah, Dilated Peoples, Heavy Surveillance, have a check.
Straight from the gutter. I'm in the town of the 4 pounds and crooked crooks.
Johnny Pearson, another British musician, another one that's been sampled so many times on that KPM label. That particular library music record was called Children and Animation. So Primo's taken this nice kids record, flipped it into something definitely not suitable for kids. Smiley the Ghetto child from Group Home. Yeah, flipped it into a great hardcore track, that one, definitely. Let's check out what the next one is.
Taking off the Abu Dhabi, beaming up the motor Scotty, talking to promoter Scotty, everybody knows Scotty.
Giovanni Cristiani, very obscure, only album he ever put out. And as far as I know, that's the only track that's been sampled by him as well. Someone in the comments on one of my other videos was talking about why don't I show a Black Milk sample? Well, there you go, Black Milk sample right there. Really great track, that one. Danny Brown, Ab-Soul, Earl Sweatshirt and Kendrick all on the same track. Go and give that one a listen if you've not already. Let's check out what's next up. Arawak, actually an Italian composer, Benito Simoncini, and he used that as an alias to Arawak for all the library music records that he made. Quasimoto always makes me laugh just listening to Madlib with that crazy voice sound on him and the mad lyrics that he comes out with. Yeah, real fun, upbeat album.
Whether rapping or I'm rapping to a whore, might reach back and read after wrapping up his raw. Givenchy fitting like his gym clothes.
Anthony King, yet another British composer, appeared on a few of these library music records, but he's also composed a lot of music for other people. Pusha T track, big track that, produced by Don Cannon, Kanye West. Don Cannon's produced a lot of tracks himself, worked with 50 Cent, Ludacris. But yeah, this Pusha T track, real big track at the time, that, real popular one.
I'm disgusted
Interior rustic, the mustard colored walls adjusted. Trap doors everywhere.
Staying on the modern tip, back to back with Pusha T tracks there. That one produced by Q-Tip from A Tribe Called Quest. Very different type of production for him. Listening to that on its own without knowing, I would not recognise that at all as a Q-Tip production. Sounds very, very different than his normal stuff. But still, great track. Let's check out what the next one is.
That's what happens when you reach for what you can't fit. I'll be the wild golden child. Come on, yo.
Jack Tromby, actually a Dutch guy called Jan Stokart. He used Jack Tromby as an alias for all of these library music records that he did, and he did a lot of them. This particular one was a kid's record, but look at that picture on the cover. That is creepy for kids, that. Some guy with a dog's head, another fella tied up with a hood over his head. What is going on there? I do not know, but that does not look like something that is suitable for younger viewers. Primo again on the production with Ras Kass. He seems to be good at taking these really nice tracks and flipping it into something hardcore and a lot darker. Real good track, that one. So that's it. End of the video. Hope it's something that you've enjoyed, and I hope you've got a better understanding now what library music records are. Any producers out there, hope it's inspired you to go digging out some of these obscure library records, seeing what samples you can find on them. I've definitely used a lot of them in my own productions. I'm a big fan of them, and especially the KPM ones. So if you have enjoyed the video, leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to see more, join up as a member, download my albums off Bandcamp. If you're enjoying the video as well, you want to support me, as I said, you can do that as a member. There's a link to buy me a coffee, there's super thanks available. So anyway, thanks for watching.